Hello all, I am Jairam. In a series of providing video sessions on C programming language, in my previous session I have discussed about preprocessor. What is meant by preprocessor and how we include the preprocessor into a program. What is the declaration for the preprocessor and different types of preprocessors available in C program language. So I have discussed all these topics in my previous session. So if you want that session, please subscribe my channel Jairam Thurapati and like my videos. Now in this session I am going to discuss about the next concept in C program language, that is header files. So what is meant by header file and what is the syntax for a header file and what are different types of header files and how we can declare header files in C program language, or as how we can include header files into our program and what are the different types of header files are there. So these topics I am going to discuss in this session. So please subscribe my channel Jairam Thurapati and like my videos. Now let's start our session. Header file. So first of all, before going to discuss about header file, let's understand the definition for the header file. What is meant by header file? So header file is a collection of, it contains some collection of data, so which contains some predefined functions or instructions or declarations in order to share that header file between the two different source files. So suppose in that header file we have different types of declarations, functions, methods are there. By using that header file we can share that in different types of, that means we can share that header file between different sources. So there are two ways we can declare or we can include header files into our program by using system defined, that is program rights. That means the first one is the program is, that means predefined header files are there, some predefined header files are there, and next one is the user defined header files are there. These are the two types of header files are available in C programming language. So if any programmer want to include header files, he can use these two ways. First one is the by using predefined header files and next one is the by using user defined. That means he can create his own header file by using the #include keyword. By using this #include keyword, he may request the compiler, or by using this #include he may include his own type of header file into his program. Next one is the, here I have written syntax for include file. Just understand the syntax here. Here this include has the two forms, that means we can include the files in two different ways. Here first one is the file. Here I have written a file name in the left parenthesis, less than greater than symbol, I have written a name that is called file name. That is the user, that is the system defined one. That means these are the, so those file names which are which are included, which are enclosed between those less than and greater than symbol, we often treat them as user defined includers. That means user defined header files because they are come up with the system. That means the C programming language are they are the predefined ones. That means the user defined, they are not user defined, they are come up with the system that the programmer want to include that. If a programmer want to include those predefined header files into his program, then he may write this form. #include and file name of that file or name of the that include he want to include into his program, that to be mentioned in the enclosed, that name of that file must be enclosed in the left less than symbol and greater than symbol. And next form of header file is #include file. Here the name of the file, that means the name of the including header file will be enclosed in double quotes. Here the double quote specifies the user defined header file. That means he may include, the programmer, the writer include the user defined header file. That means this is not system defined, that is user defined. He may write his own name depending on the program execution or depending on the program concept or depending on his requirement. Based on his requirement, he may write the include name, whatever he want, right? He then just include the header file into his program. So these are the two ways where we can include the header files into programs. Next, include operation. That means how can we include or how can compiler compiles the include files while compiling a C program. Here I have written a simple C program. First of all, here I have taken the x of integer type, and next here I have including a header file which is a user defined one. Why? Because here I am included the name of the header file is header.h, which is enclosed in double quotes. This double quote specifies the user defined include file, that means user defined header file. That's why here I have placed that header file in double quotes, enclosing double quotes. And next here I have written main method and simply puts test, that means I am testing whether this file is existing or not. This is the simple program I have written for understanding how we include the header files into our program, or how we can enclose or how we can include header files into programs. Next, while compiling, this is the way, in this way the programmer writes the program. This is the way the programmer writes the program. While for the compilation, while compiling the program, the C compiler or the C interpreter, the C compiler, the C interpreter sees the program like this. That means it here first execute the x of integer type, and next here in this statement char of text is a pointer type which is of character type, and I have passed a method, passed a parameter which is of void type. That means that here this void parameters that hasn't written any value to that text of character type. Why? Because here I have included a user-defined header files in the above program. This is the program I have written. I have included the header.header file. But while compiling the program, the compiler or the interpreter will see this. The compiler or interpreter will see this. That means this interprets this line as or compile this hash include header.h as this, like this. That means character space text. Why? Because here this hash include header file.h contains this line of code. This line of code. Why? Because I already saved char space text.void in a file that is called simple.c. Suppose I have written a code in a simple.c. I included a header file hash include header.h. Under this header.h header file, I have written this code. That means I have taken a text which is a pointer variable. Text is a pointer variable which is of character type, and I have passed a argument. That means I passed a parameter called void. That means this parameter hasn't written anything. That text pointer as parameter, this parameter hasn't written any value to that pointer. That's why here this is the way compiler interprets. This is the way compiler treats the hash include user defined header files in the program while executing the program. So this is the way we include header files into our program. This is about include operation in C programming language. And next one is the once only header files. So what is meant by once only header files? First of all, let's understand the program. Suppose we may have a situation, that means we may encounter a situation, or we may come across a situation. Suppose we have to include the same name, that means name of the header file is same. We have to include the same name header file multiple times. That means we want to use there may be situation we want to use same name of the header file in many places. In that cases, the compiler will treat that same name header file and returns it as an error. In order to overcome those type of errors, we have a method. We have to prevent that errors. That means to prevent that those errors raised by the compiler. In order to prevent those errors, we have a method. That means we have to include those header files in this if condition. That means by using those if n definition, that means if n defined, if not defined directives. These are the pre-processed directives. These are all discussed in my previous session. If you want the session, please go to my channel Jairam Turlapati and clear the concept there and go here. And now let's see the topic here. You can clearly understand why I have written if and definition, what is meant by it, and what is the syntax. I have discussed all this about in my previous session. Please go there and clear the topic there and come here. Let's understand the topic here. Why I have written here. Why I have defined this header file by using this hash and defined preprocessor directive, and here I am ending that enough. That means here I am ending that if preprocessor directive. That means we want to use. There may be situation for the programmer to use the same number of header files many places. In that cases, he include that header files by using this if n defined. That means if not defined. That means if not defined header file is there, if not defined preprocessor directive is existed there, then define a new header file. Otherwise, use that header file. That means if not defined, that means if the definition for that header file or any code or any statements are not written under that header file, then you define a new header file by using this hash defined preprocessor directive. That is the importance of the once only header files into in the concept of header files. And next one is the computed include. What is meant by computed include? Suppose here too, like the above one, here too we have a situation. Like the above one, here too we have a situation. Suppose we have several header files are there. Suppose we have several different types of header files to be included in our program. Suppose I want to use different types of header files into my program. How can I include that? How can I include those different types of header files into my program? By using, that means those header files are come up with different platforms or different operating systems. Now I want to use all those header files which are come from different operating system or from different sources in a program. How can I use that? How can I use that? This is the way. Let's see here. Here I have written a if class. By using this if preprocessor directive, these are the user defined system1 directive and variable, and here the system2 variable and system3 variable. Under this here I have written I have included a system1 dot user defined header file and system2 dot h. That means this is also under user defined header file. In this way, by using that if preprocessor directive, we can include as many directives, that means as many header files, as many user defined header files as you can into your program. And as soon as you included the header files into program, and simply close that and if, that means close that if preprocessor directive by using this and if preprocessor directive statement. So while seeing this program, while including the many number of header files into program, or which is of user type header files into your program, this indicates the readability. This is loss of readability, and it is causes to readability of the program. That means this reduces the readability of the program. The compiler execution is also there for the readability, so it reduces the readability of the program, and it's difficult for the compiler to understand the program step by step, and the interpretation also takes much time, and it sometimes it prints garbage values on the output screen. So this is not the correct way to include as many user defined header files into program. So instead of writing many number of header files into a program, so you can define simply like this. This is the reduced form of a above defined header file. That means we can define by using this hash define preprocessor directive, and system h is the variable name, and this is the variable to all these variables, system1, system2, system3. This is the parent class. That means this is the parent variable to all these system1, system2 and system3. And next here I am just including a user defined header file system1.h, and I included there by using the system dot variable name. And next here simply I am including the First I am defining a user defined variable by using the system.h. Next I am defining as many variables as I can. So by using this type of syntax, by using this way of including the header files into our program, we can increase the readability of the program. So the compiler reads it very well, and it understands the program very well, and its readability increases, and the execution speed also increases, gives the output very clearly without causing any error or without raising any errors. So that is the way. So that is the concept of computed inclusion header files. And next one is so these are the different types of concepts are come under header files. So what is meant by header file? What are the two different types of header files are there, and populate the syntax for the include. And next one is the how can we perform the include operation, and what is meant by once only headers, and how can we declare once only headers into our program, and what is meant by computed English, where it necessary for the programmer to include the computed necessary includes into his program. So there is a way. So there is a situation for the programmer, he want to include the different type of header files into a program. So by using this computed include, he can include the as many include header files into user defined header files into his program. So this concept about header files in C program language. So in this session I am going to discuss about what is meant by error handling and what is meant by error, how C compiler handles that are going to occur at the execution time and at the runtime, and what approach it can follow to handle the errors which are going to be occurred at the execution time as well as at the runtime. This concept I am going to discuss in my next session. If you like this session, please subscribe my channel Jairam Turlapati and like my videos, and give your suggestions and comments if any. I shall comment your suggestion. I shall prepare a suggestion without fail. And thank you one all for watching. Thank you one all. Thank you.